Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Shanity Show. So it is that time of the month for Book Tag Tuesdays, and since we're basically getting to the end of spring, I figured why not do a spring book tag because it fits. I was gonna do a May the 4th book tag, but then I wanted to do it closer to May the 4th. Disclosure about May the 4th. I'm not a Star Wars fan. I have seen at least 3 of the movies. I've seen the first one. I've seen one of the recent ones. Or not the first one. I've seen episode 3. I've seen one of the recent ones. And then I've seen one other. I'm not a fan. I see why people like it. I just thought doing the book tag would be fun, but I wanted to do it closer to / on May the 4th, and I missed that window. So yeah, we're gonna do it next year though. So just have to remember to do it next year. So as you can tell from this one, it's a Splendid spring book tag. I've linked the video inspo down below in the description. So if you want to go see the tag that I pulled it from, or the post that I pulled it from, see down below in the description. I've included the prompts, and I've also included the list of what I mentioned in this video. And I'm going to be doing that where I include the books mentioned list until I can figure. I might just need to update my computer, which is not going to happen anytime soon because of money. But until I can figure out like either how to get the photo up on the video like I used to do, or how to edit on my computer. But when I transfer it to my computer, it always sounds super weird, which is why I think I might just need a new computer. But again, that's gonna be a while. So point of all that, there's gonna be a books mentioned list in upcoming Book Tag Tuesdays videos, and just in general Book Tag Tuesdays posts. So with all of that said, let's get into this book tag. Okay, I quickly had to go get the books in the stack, as you can see here. And something else I wanted to mention before I officially get into this is that this year I will most likely not be going to Anime Expo. I'm still fiddling with the idea of maybe going one day, but most likely I will not be going this year. But I will be doing a bunch of anime related and manga related videos in July. And it won't be the way I usually post around Anime Expo, where I post every Friday along with the 4 days of Anime Expo, where it'll just be like my normal posting schedule every Friday, and then Book Tag Tuesdays on the last Tuesday, and then Monthly Thursday on the last Thursday. But yeah, so I won't be doing the usual 4-day over Anime Expo videos where it was like watching I think last year I did like watching an anime, the vlog. I think I maybe did like a tips, tricks, what's in my bag or something along that. And then I think I did like the manga tier ranking video. So I won't be doing like a video over the a video each day of Anime Expo like I did last year. It'll just be every Friday of July will be an anime and or manga related video. And again, Book Tag Tuesday will be a manga Book Tag Tuesday, and then the Monthly Thursday will be anime and or manga related. So I just wanted to get that out there. And plus we're getting close to Anime Expo. Excuse me. There is a part of me that's having a little bit of FOMO in regards to that, but I think it's not necessarily because I'm fearing that I'll miss out. I mean, there's a part of like, oh, maybe I'll miss out on something that I would have liked to go to. But so part of it is that, but I think a large part of it is that since I've gone to to Anime Expo since I started going to Anime Expo in 2012. I've never intentionally chosen to not go a year. There was 2020 and 2021, I think. Yeah, 2020 and 2021 because were canceled because of COVID. But so it's like I couldn't go because it was canceled. But I have been going from 2012 up to 2019 and then 2023 and 2024. So that was 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So that was like 10 years in a row consecutively, not including COVID years where it was canceled. So like 2024 was like my 10 years going to, which is kind of scary. Well, not scary, but like I've always enjoyed going to Anime Expo. I know it has, ooh, maybe that could be my monthly Thursdays for July. Like I know Anime Expo has had its issues in regards to certain things, which I've talked about in previous vlogs and previous Anime Expo discussions. I think that would be a good monthly Thursday video. But I've always enjoyed going because I always seem to either re-encounter friends I've made over the years and make new friends and just find new things to enjoy. And I think a large part of it for me was I've always been, well, I'm getting into tangent, but I'm going to finish this thought. I've always been a huge anime and manga fan ever since I was pretty young. And there was a time, like I talked about this in a video a few years ago about like my relationship with Black Butler, which I'm tempted to get back into. It's like a morbid temptation. But there was a time where it was just like there wasn't as much joy in it. And I think it's because I wasn't actively searching out new anime, new shows, new manga to get into. And that's something I've been trying to do the past 2-ish years or a year and a half. I need to do another getting back into anime video and getting back into manga. But I think there was a little bit of like luster lost for me because I wasn't trying to like find new things. But this last year Anime Expo, I was kind of doing more stuff. Even if it wasn't something I was interested in, I went to the 2 Studio Orange panels that they had. And then I went to a Delicious and Dungeon panel. And I went to a couple of manga recommendation panels. So I think that was like, that really helped reignite my interest and love in anime and manga. I think that's also factoring into why I'm like having a little bit of FOMO, because I was like, hey, I just started like feeling like I was ready to get back into stuff. And now it's like, oh, I'm not feeling like going this year. And plus like tickets are so expensive. It's like I always try to get my tickets, like I always try to get the 4-day pass so that I have some choice in when I go. If I don't want to go all 4 days, I have some choice in when I go. But I always try to get my pass like as early as possible, like the day registration opens, I try to get it. But I didn't do that this year. And speaking of which, I'm going to look up Anime Expo 2025. Let's see how much. I will get to the book tag in a minute. Oh geez, why does that not feel as bad this year? What the fuck? Okay, 1-day prices are a little bit pricey right now, except for Sunday. I mean, they're all a little bit pricey. And like, it makes sense. And like, these prices make sense for an event like this. 4-day pass is $157. I feel like it was more last year. Damn. It's $157.65. And then 1 day these are all for 14 and up. Thursday is $82. Friday's 82, Saturday's 92, and Sunday is 77. Saturday, again, it makes sense for an event like this, and weekends. So it's a situation where it's like, ugh, I still want to go. I want to go so badly. Like, it's a situation where it's like money is, even though it's relatively reasonable, and I think it's a little bit less than what it was last year, at least when I bought my pass, but it's just like money's an issue, even though it makes sense, like I said. And I'm trying to, not necessarily that I'm trying to go to other conventions right now, even though I keep talking about that. It's just I'm trying to have money set aside for like other big things I want to go to that kind of outweigh Anime Expo. So yeah, we'll just have to, I'm most likely not going to go, and if anything, it would probably be Sunday, but even then it's like not all that stuff goes on Sunday. So anyway, getting back on topic of book tag. So spring book tag. Let's get back on topic. Like I said, the first prompt is everywhere you look, flowers are blooming. Choose a book with flowers on the cover you'll love or you think you'll love. Now, I read the arc for Under the Oak Tree by C.G. Kim. I'm counting this. It's floral enough. There are some flower motifs on the back, and also with my book tags I will be trying to give you guys descriptions of the book, or like a basic description of what it is. This is the first in a series, so yeah, let's give descriptions. Most fairy tales end with a wedding and a happily ever after, but this is no fairy tale. Lady Maximilian is the daughter of the powerful Duke Corso, but she is rarely allowed outside her family's sprawling castle for fear that her stutter will tarnish their noble name. When she is forced to marry Sir... I misread that. Okay, misread it in my mind. When she is forced to marry Sir Riften, a low-born knight caught in one of her father's schemes, Maxie doesn't dare hope for happiness, let alone love. Her stumbling communication and his gruff manner sour their relationship before it can begin, and Riften leaves without word the morning after their vows are exchanged. Now, 3 years after their disastrous wedding night, Riften has returned as a war hero. To Maxie's surprise, despite rumors that he was offered marriage to Princess Agnes, a beautiful and renowned sorceress, Riften still wants Maxie for his wife. And when he comes to claim her, his desires bewilder Maxie, even as she is overcome by the scorching heat that Riften's presence ignites within her. As she learns to navigate the intricacies of her new life, Maxie will find herself and her courage and discover that she is anything but powerless. Again, I read this is a webcomic that I've been wanting to read. Just for whatever reason, I've been having issues with webcomics. And then I got the arc, the physical arc. I'm not going to grab it. At Anime Expo last year, and I got this at Barnes & Noble, one of my last trips. And I have read the arc. I just haven't read the full thing. So I know I love it. I know I will love it. So I'm just waiting to read it. Now, the next prompt is Spring Travel, a book. I did name these a little bit easier, so it was easier to kind of navigate them. The inspo post wasn't necessarily named. I wanted to keep the name short. Anyway, Spring Travel, a book you've read or would like to read while traveling. So this is Jacqueline in Paris by Anne Ma. And I have not read this, but it's on my TBR. And it's something I would like to read. Ideally, I would like to read it while I'm traveling in Paris, or in France at least, but we'll see. It seems like a nice spring travel book. When Jacqueline Bouvier arrives in post-war Paris, she's 20 years old, socially poised but financially precarious, and all too aware of her mother's expectations that she'd make a brilliant match. Before relenting to family pressure, she has 1 year to explore and absorb the luminous beauty of the City of Light. But beneath the glitter and rush, France is a fragile place still haunted by the occupation. Jacqueline will find her year abroad a balance of ration cards and weekend parties, French resistance survivors and secret communists, and as she discovers true Paris underneath the fantasy, she'll also discover the woman the world will soon know her to be. So this is like Jacqueline Kennedy pre-Kennedy, and I always liked Jackie Kennedy. I've always liked her, and I have liked quite a few books set in Paris, set in France, so hopefully this is right up my alley. I'll talk about another one in like 2-3 pops. So the next prompt I do not have a physical book for because I read it through Kindle Unlimited, and I've canceled my Kindle Unlimited subscription because I'm trying to support Amazon as less as possible. I'm trying not to support Amazon as much. So anyway, Spring Fling. There we are. Spring Fling, a book you were obsessed with for a short period of time but quickly cast aside or quickly got over. So for me, that was The Court of the Vampire King by Katie Robert. Now, there was nothing wrong with this book. I really enjoyed it when I read it. I was snapping my friend a lot about this, and then she bought it because of what I was telling her. And I know she'll like it. And I had been in a really bad slump when I read it, and I was just trying to find something that would kind of ease me out of the slump. And it was what I needed at the time. It was a good book. It's just not what I usually read, and that's okay. So the next prompt is Freshly Mowed Grass, a book that personifies a middle-aged dad up at 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning mowing the lawn. Excuse me. So for me, this one is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. Now, I really like his comedy. British comedian and now author, or has been author. That sounded wrong. British comedian and author. And British humor can fall flat or not fall right with some people. I like British humor, and this was just a fun kind of cozy murder mystery book, and it has basically description. I didn't give a description for The Court of the Vampire Queen. You can look that one up. Again, I don't have a physical book for it. So, The Thursday Murder Club. In a peaceful retirement village, 4 unlikely friends meet weekly in the Jigsaw Room to discuss unsolved crimes. Together, they call themselves the Thursday Murder Club. When a local developer is found dead with a mysterious photograph left next to the body, the friends suddenly find themselves in the middle of their first live case. They might be senior citizens, but they are cleverer than most, and as the bodies begin to pile up, our unorthodox but brilliant gang catch the killer before it's too late. So it's very much a cozy murder mystery, as weird as that sounds. It's a great little fun pick-me-up book if you need that. So I highly recommend it. But again, just be wary because British humor, if you're not British or don't like British humor, it can be hit or miss. So the next prompt is Rain Showers, a book that made you really sad, but the sun still shone through in the end. For me, that was The Paris Orphan by Natasha Lester. An American soldier and an enterprising photographer brave occupied France in the midst of World War II to help give a little girl the one thing she's never had, a family. So it's set in New York City and in Paris in 1942, and then there's a dual timeline set in France in 2005. So I'm not going to give too much away for this one just because it is something you kind of need to go into a little bit blind. But I had first read this when I was, like, I've talked about this before. I had a phase where I was reading only history, nonfiction, and then mythology. And this was like my first fiction book that I had picked up in at least 5 years. And I fell in love. I was tearing up. I wasn't full on crying, but it was as close to crying as what we're gonna get over a book. And I absolutely love this story. And now Natasha Lester is just an auto-buy author for me. Okay, so I keep having to step away during my videos. So the next prompt, I realize I grabbed the World Guide rather than the first volume, but it's okay. The next prompt is Animals Waking Up, a book that pulled you out of a reading slump. And kind of piggybacking off of what I was talking about earlier, this anime pulled me from an anime slump. And because I would rewatch a lot of my favorite animes, but I wasn't really watching new stuff. And this manga also pulled me out of a reading slump. So it's kind of like double whammy there. And that is Delicious in Dungeon by Kyoko Kui. And again, this is a world guide. But essentially you're following, it's like a D&D. Which I'm not a big D&D person, but like Delicious in Dungeon just hits the spot. Or the right spot for me. Ooh, I need to take this sticker off. It's so easy to take off certain this is not going to be easy. Apparently not going to be easy. So like I said, this is like a D&D based storyline, and you're following a team, an adventure team, and they're trying to beat the levels of this one dungeon and trying to save a friend they lost in one of the expeditions. And that's the basics of it. I don't want to give too much away just because, at least with the anime, I watched all of season 1. I've only read the first 2 volumes of the manga. So, okay, so I got most of the sticker off. Why can't, like, there are some stickers that are so easy to take off, and then other stickers that are, like, terrible to take off. This one was kind of mid, but yeah, that's the back of it. But honestly, like, really great story. I absolutely love the characters and the elements to it. Like, I can't wait to read more. The next prompt is Spring Vacation, a book whose friend group you'd like to spend spring break with. And I have not read this yet, but I got my copy of For Whom the Bell Tolls by J.C. Lynn the day before recording this video. And basically, JC, see you later on TikTok, has been doing Hell's Bells skits. And I've been following that for quite some time now, really enjoying them. And I love the dynamic in that group. And I know it started off as TikTok skits, but like, this counts. Like, I would love to go on a spring vacation with these guys. Like, who wouldn't? I still need to find a spot for Whom the Bell Tolls, but we're not going to worry about that. The next prompt is Bloom and Grow, a book that made you grow as a person. And for me, this is kind of like, it sounds a little counterintuitive, but that is Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim, and she has become another auto-buy author for me. And when I was seeing marketing for this book, I think I was seeing it from the author herself, and I was seeing that she was basing this book off of the Wild Swans story, and it's very similar to The Three Ravens, and it's like these are like folklore stories. The Three Ravens is Germanic, and the Wild Swans is more Asian and kind of Russia area. I grew up on The Three Ravens retelling that Jim Henson did for The Storyteller, and then kind of early to mid-teens, my sister had grown up on it, and then she introduced me to Mikhail Baryshnikov's Stories from My Childhood, which had a rendition of The Wild Swans. And I love both of these renditions of that story, and like this kind of helped me kind of connect childhood with adulthood. And like, again, it sounds kind of counterintuitive, but like I feel like it did kind of help me grow and make that connection between past and present. Like, as weird as that sounds, I don't know how to explain it. I didn't give an explanation for whom the bell tolls. So, backtracking a little bit, this was my spring vacation answer. Lily may not have been thrilled with her arrival in the afterlife, but what awaits her there is fantastical beyond imagination. Deities in line at the coffee shop, fae floating between realms, souls making death a beginning. As she explores the afterlife's many realms, Lily finds herself drawn to the place most people would avoid at all costs. Hell, armed with years in customer service, she makes a job for herself among hell's demons, directing souls to their rightful circles with more than a hint of sass. Lilia's expectations are subverted every day in hell, especially by Belle, a demon general with a distractingly sexy voice. The two form an immediate, deeply healing friendship, and the heat between them it threatens to combust. But something stirs beyond the boundaries of their world, threatening to destroy everything they know, unless they fight like hell to stop it. So I'm really excited to read it. And then going back to my Bloom and Grow answer, Six Crimson Cranes, Shiori Anma, the only princess of Kyoto, has a secret. Forbidden magic runs through her veins. Normally she conceals it well, but on the morning of her betrothal ceremony, Shiori loses control. At first, her mistake seems like a stroke of luck, forestalling the wedding she never wanted, but it also catches the attention of Raikama, her stepmother. A sorceress in her own right, Raikama banishes the young princess, turning her brothers into cranes. She warns Shiori that she must speak of it to no one, for with every word that escapes her lips, one of her brothers will die. Penniless, voiceless, and alone, Shiori searches for her brothers and uncovers a dark conspiracy to seize the throne. Only Shiori can set the kingdom to rights, but to do so she must place her trust in a paper bird, a mercurial dragon, and the very boy she fought so hard to not marry. And she must embrace the magic she's been taught all her life to forswear, no matter what the cost. And then the next prompt, the second to last prompt, is Park Picnic, a book character you think would pack the best picnic baskets. And for me, I feel like this one will make sense. My girl Toru from Fruits Basket. I have yet to watch, maybe that'll be my next getting back into anime. But Toru from Fruits Basket, I have not watched the more recent Fruits Basket adaptation. I do really like the old 1990s-ish one. I do know it has its issues, it's not the best, and I wish they had at least finished out introducing all 12 of the Zodiac, but like I do like the original anime series. But Toru, she would like pack the best picnic basket, 100%. So, description, which I'm trying to do more of. After a family tragedy turns her life upside down, plucky high schooler Toru Honda takes matters into her own hands and moves out into a tent. Unfortunately for her, she pitches her new home on private land belonging to the Let me start over. I was doing that line a little fast. Unfortunately for her, she pitches her new home on private land belonging to the mysterious Soma clan, and it isn't long before the owners discover her secret. But as Toru quickly finds out, when the family offers to take her in, the Somas have a secret of their own. When embraced by the opposite sex, they turn into animals of the Chinese zodiac. So I love this series. I love this series. I have read the manga before, quite a few times at this point. And then the last prompt, the next and last prompt is Sunny Day, a book that is the embodiment of sunshine. And for me, that is The Perks of Being an S-Class Heroine by Irenbi. Original story by Irenbi, and then art by Grrr. And I love this. Like, the minute I wrote this, like, I fell in love with the story. I did a post-anime expo reading vlog last year. Absolutely fell in love with this. So, tutorial start. From cooking to alchemy to even brewing tea, Elliot Rodelin is a certified child prodigy thanks to her sacred weapon. See, she's a transmitigator. Having purchased an insurance package at the moment of her untimely end, Elliot has the perks of being a top-tier support system and item shop to fall back on. And in the world of a notoriously brutal time loop novel, she's going to need all the help she can get. Because with a hero slated for an early end, Elliot just might have to become an S-Class heroine herself. I absolutely love these characters. I almost want to cosplay as Elliot. We'll see. Potentially one day. I think I have an outfit that's like close enough. I might have a wig that's close enough. I have to take a look. I might actually have something to do like a closet cosplay for this. So that is the end of this video. I know it was a long one because I took a tangent at the beginning of this video, but I am tagging anyone and everyone who wants to do this tag. Either do it in a comment down below or do your own video or post about this and let me know what your answers would be. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.